So today is Tuesday, the 20th of October 2020. So we are just a few days away to the elections, which is happening on the 7th of December 2020. Welcome to Good Morning Africa. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. Let me apologize to all of you for having absented myself for some time now. I wasn't feeling well, I was under the weather, but I left you in the capable hands of my colleague here at Pan-African Television, Justice Supremo Apia, who held the fort whilst I was away and was able to deliver as required of him. But I'm back and I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to get to sit here and to have a very wonderful conversation with you, the viewers who are watching us from across the length and breadth of our dear nation, Ghana. Let me remind you that once you see my face, it presupposes that the WhatsApp number is active. The WhatsApp number is 0260846539, 0260846539. And we are also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. And the handles are facebook.com/Pan-African Television and youtube.com/Pan-African Television. So you can connect with us there and share with us what your thoughts are. We'll be more than willing to read it out for the rest of the world to know what your thoughts are and what you're thinking this very morning. Let me quickly take you through the topics before I introduce my panelists for our conversation today. Mauritius PM hit out at UK over islands control, corruption, public officers to get prison term of 25 years under new law. The Insight newspaper reported this one. Mahama Pontus Akufo-Addo dares him to resign over failure to fight Galamsey. The National Enquirer. EC disqualifies 5 presidential aspirants. The New Crusading Guard reported that story. Fulani Talk staff calls on Samira and MPP to restore their citizenship. The Hawk also reported this particular story. So these are the topics that we have tabled for our conversation this morning. Like I intimated before, be kind enough to share with us what your thoughts are. We'll be more than willing to read them out here for you. Today, me and Nadia, we are doing twins. We are twinning. Because Adia is wearing, what color is that? Is that pink? Okay, mine is not pink. So yeah, but anyway, there's some level of similarity in the color, right? Yes. Hadia Amdatu Ibrahim is here seated. She is the former national chairperson of the CPP, and she's here to speak to the issues. Hadia, good morning to you. A blessed one for that.
Good morning, Kwame.
Thank you very kindly for joining us. And also, our very own, the former MP for Busa North constituency is also here seated.
This one there.
Boss, I salute you. I salute you. Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awontirim.
This one
good
I
morning.
protest.
Oh, wow.
Your own how? I'm not your own.
Oh, but you are not.
But that's why he gave you the appellations. Mine is just to reiterate the fact that
even this one this morning, you know, he's trying to assassinate me.
No, but as for the assassination plots, it was spoiled.
This one, it was spoiled, yes. But
no, but my assassination reasons were valid. And interestingly, I raised them before you came, as if I knew, and I raised them with our younger brother, Justice.
Yeah.
About the fact that even we, the pioneers of the show, have now been relegated to the background.
Oh, you know that is not
Don't
true.
allow yourself to be relegated.
You've seen it time and again.
Whether you are an officer or not, whether MP or not MP, me.
Yes, I understand.
Acting chairperson,
Yes.
I did my second.
Yes. I understand. What I was telling them, I will not, but you know me, I will not. The issues were that
maybe you're not
I told him that I understand that NDC has a backlog of communicators and representatives who would want to appear on this
Absolutely.
very important platform.
Absolutely.
But the issue is that at least you can rotate reasonably. Yeah. Maybe twice a month.
You know,
the issue is that
for me, you know what?
Who made this thing to be very attractive to people?
We know.
Yeah. But the truth is also that oftentimes you were not in Accra. So
what are the times I was in Accra?
So that's the whole point. Maybe during the rotation, that would have been the time for you to be here.
Yeah,
you know, but we call you when you are supporting your brother up north.
Yes, certainly. I'll be going appropriately.
Yeah.
I am yet to get in touch with him for us to put things in order and for me to go and support. Your home is always home.
Absolutely.
And you cannot run away when things don't go your way. The only thing is that God has a way of promoting his people.
Absolutely.
At an appropriate time, you would get it even on a silver platter than anticipated.
Okay.
So for
me. Right.
Like that.
So let me extend the voice of felicitation to all our viewers, particularly those watching us from the northern belt and the middle belt and the southern belt, eastern, central, Volta, Uti, everywhere. A special good morning going out to all of you for tuning in this morning and spending your quality morning with me. We're starting the conversation with the issue relating to Mauritius, where the Prime Minister has hit out at the United Kingdom for refusing to return control of the island. Now, you would recall that the International Court of Justice, ICJ, last year gave an advisory opinion to the UK ordering it to hand over the island to Mauritius. Britain also insists that the ICJ ruling is wrong. Now, the Chagos was home to the Chagosians and Bobanians speaking people for more than a century and a half until the United Kingdom evicted them between 1967 and 1973 to allow the United States to build a military base on Diego Garcia, the largest of the Chagos Islands. Since 1971, only the atoll of Diego is inhabited and only by military and civilian contracted personnel. Since being expelled, the Chagosians natives have been prevented from returning to the islands. The sovereignty of the Chagos archipelago is disputed between the United Kingdom and Mauritius. In 1965, 3 years before Mauritius gained independence, the UK excised, the archipelago from Mauritius and the islands of Aldabra. The language, man. I mean the names, man. The islands were formally established as an overseas territory of the United Kingdom on 8th of November 1965. On 23rd June 1976, the Aldabra, Fakar and the Roches were returned to Seychelles. On the 22nd of June 2017, the UN General Assembly asked the International Court of Justice to give an advisory opinion on the separation of the Chagos archipelago from Mauritius. On 25th February 2019, the International Court of Justice ruled that the United Kingdom is under an obligation to bring to an end its administration of the Chagos archipelago as rapidly as possible. On the 22nd day of May 2019, the United Nations General Assembly debated and adopted a resolution that affirmed the Chagos archipelago forms an integral part of the territory of Mauritius. The resolution demanded that the UK withdrew its colonial administration unconditionally within a period of no more than 6 months. 116 states voted in favor of the resolution, whilst 55 abstained and only 5 countries supported the United Kingdom. Honorable, it gives us the clearest of indications that this should be a settled matter. But it appears that once these colonial imperialists find solace in in their activities, they don't want to let go. I mean, they want to make sure that they milk it dry, and this has been going on.
Countries and mineral resources that the colonial masters took from us. And after the overthrow of the colonial imperialists in Africa, they continue to come in a metamorphosized way. They mutate from one state to the other. While they were yanked from Africa in terms of their slave raiding, in terms of their dominance because of our mineral resources and so on, what they do, even when you look at modern times, is to use a subtle way to occupy some countries. For instance, even in Ghana here, we can talk about the U.S. military establishment on the independent state like Ghana here. For what reason, up to now, we do not understand. Interestingly, other countries that have gone through what the Mauritius people are going through, like South Africa had the occupation of the whites. We have Zimbabwe with the occupation of the whites that have taken the fertile lands from the people of Zimbabwe. That culminated into disturbances that eventually led to the seizure of these lands for the inhabitants of Zimbabwe. We all knew the repercussions and so on. Even the international community of the Western powers put sanctions on Zimbabwe. Look at the crisis in Libya, all across Africa. There's no way you are not getting the hand of the colonial masters into it after they were banished from Africa. And that is why we often say that, did we get political independence or got economic independence? Obviously not economic independence, but even the political independence, they find a way of stifling our independence through funding, through illicit financial outlets in this country. And I keep saying that, look, since about 30 years ago, the amount of illicit tax that has left Africa through tax evasion, through the multinational corporations in Ghana, in Africa, is over $1 trillion, more than the combined grants and loans to Africa altogether. They still find a subtle way. They go behind the scenes and make sure that they keep you impoverished. These islands, we know what they produce in this country. Apart from tourism, the economic potentials, even cultural potentials of the country, they begin to occupy them and use them. Look, in the current case of I think Azerbaijan and one other country, in the fight of the Nagorno-Karabakh country, is also a struggle for land. If you look at the case of the Palestinian people, it's a struggle for land and so on. If you can go on and on and on. And I think that it is quite hurting that in a modern day country like that, we still have colonial masters still trying to hinge onto the relics of their colonial regimes in this country by occupying such islands, knowing very well that they have the might to be able to fight these smaller countries. So it is not surprising that the Mauritius went to international court to have the issue arbitrated. Now they are telling us that they do not find the ruling in sync with their thinking. If it is so, I think that the International Court of Justice, established by the UN, have got a procedure by which, if you do not agree with a ruling, you go back to that processes again. Now they are occupying it hook or crook, whether you like it or not, they are occupying it. That is the issue now. Now, is it because they are superpower? We've seen situations where the US, and for that matter, the Western powers have massed up to push out countries because they were finding those countries to have illegally occupied certain foreign lands. For instance, they pushed out Iraq because Iraq went and then occupied Kuwait. They keep doing that globally. But when it comes to DS, then they stand alone and they feel that because of their might, no one can talk. And when you want to talk, they come back. But